Before we talk about strategies, before we discuss habits or routines, we need to start with something far more fundamental: trust. Not trust in the world, not trust in luck or circumstances, but trust in yourself. So often we wait for someone else to validate us. We wait for a nod of approval, a pat on the back, a certificate that says, yes, you are worthy. But the truth is, the foundation of every success story begins not with recognition from others, but with the quiet, persistent voice inside you that says, I can. Think about it. Every great innovator, every visionary leader, every person who has achieved something remarkable started with belief, sometimes against all odds, sometimes when no one else believed. Thomas Edison faced thousands of failed experiments before he brought the light bulb to life. What carried him forward wasn't external validation, it was self-belief. He trusted that his mind, his capacity to think, to try, to persist, could find the answer. That's the first lesson. Success starts when you trust your own mind. Trusting yourself doesn't mean arrogance or blind certainty. It doesn't mean ignoring feedback or reality. It means recognizing that you have a capacity to grow, adapt, and solve problems. It means that even when you stumble, even when the world questions your choices, you have a core understanding that your potential is real. Imagine your mind as a compass. If you doubt it, if you second-guess every decision, you will never move forward. But if you calibrate it, if you practice listening to it, your internal compass will guide you, even through the foggiest of paths. Psychologically, this is crucial. Neuroscience tells us that our brain reacts to our beliefs. When we truly trust our abilities, we engage with challenges differently. We approach them with curiosity, not fear. We see obstacles as puzzles to solve, rather than threats to avoid. This is not just motivational rhetoric, it's biology. Self-belief rewires your brain to see possibility, and possibility drives action. Without it, no amount of talent, skill, or resources will be fully realized. You can have every tool in the world, but without confidence in your own judgment, those tools remain idle. Philosophically, this goes even deeper. Many thinkers have argued that human potential is realized through self-trust. Soren Kierkegaard once suggested that the greatest leap we make is the leap of faith, not necessarily in God, but in ourselves. That leap is the moment we decide to move forward, despite uncertainty, because we trust that we can meet life head-on. And when you begin to trust yourself, you start to take ownership of your life. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or luck. You begin to understand that you are the first and most important catalyst for your own transformation. Of course, trusting yourself is not instantaneous. It's cultivated through small decisions, daily affirmations, and repeated action. Every time you choose to listen to your own judgment rather than succumb to fear, every time you act despite uncertainty, you are reinforcing that self-belief. And these small choices compound. Eventually, your internal voice becomes louder than the doubts that once held you back. It becomes your anchor in storms, your guiding light when the path is unclear. And here is something most people overlook. Self-belief is contagious. When you trust yourself, others start to notice. People are drawn to confidence, not arrogance. They sense your clarity, your decisiveness, your ability to navigate life with conviction. Opportunities emerge, doors open, not because you're perfect, but because the world recognizes the energy of someone who believes in themselves. Your self-trust becomes a beacon, attracting possibilities that would otherwise remain hidden. So, as you reflect on this, remember this one truth. The journey of success does not start with approval, it starts with alignment. Alignment with your own mind, your own values, your own sense of purpose. Begin by listening to that inner voice. Trust it, respect it, cultivate it, and let it guide your first steps. For the moment you truly begin to trust yourself, you unlock the courage to try, the resilience to persist, and the clarity to know that no matter the outcome, you have honored your own potential. Success begins here, not somewhere out there, not in a future yet to be written. It begins the moment you say to yourself, I am capable, I am worthy. Move forward even when no one else understands. And that is the single most powerful act you can take on the road to achieving anything meaningful in your life. That once you begin to trust yourself, the next step is understanding the incredible power of your mindset. Our thoughts are not just fleeting impressions, they are the architects of our reality. Every action we take, every habit we form, every choice we make is first shaped by what we believe is possible. Think about it for a moment. If you wake up each morning doubting your abilities, imagining failure before you even try, what kind of day will that create? Fear, hesitation, inaction. Now, contrast that with waking up with a quiet certainty, a sense that you are capable of meeting challenges and learning from setbacks. The difference is not just emotional, it is profound and tangible. Your mindset literally shapes your world. Psychologists refer to this as a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset, but beyond labels, it's a matter of perception. A fixed mindset sees limitations, it fears mistakes, and clings to comfort. A growth-oriented mindset sees possibilities, embraces learning, and perceives obstacles as invitations rather than barriers. When you truly believe that your capacity to learn, adapt, and evolve is limitless, you start approaching life differently. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every failure becomes feedback, and every success becomes proof that belief fuels action. Philosophers and thinkers have long echoed this truth. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote that it is not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. In other words, external circumstances are neutral. It is our interpretation that gives them weight. This is liberating. When you recognize that your perception shapes your experience, you reclaim agency over your life. You realize that while you cannot control every situation, you can control how you engage with it. An engagement fueled by a positive, empowered mindset is what leads to mastery, resilience, and ultimately success. This is where self-belief and mindset converge. Belief in yourself is the seed, but mindset is the soil in which that seed grows. You can have immense confidence, but if your thoughts are consumed by doubt, anxiety, and pessimism, growth is stunted. Conversely, a mindset that embraces possibility can amplify even small doses of self-belief into extraordinary outcomes. It is the combination of inner trust and an empowered perspective that transforms ordinary effort into meaningful progress. Consider the practical implications. When you face a difficult decision, your mindset determines whether you see it as a threat or an opportunity. When criticism comes your way, your mindset decides whether it breaks you or teaches you. When a project fails, your mindset decides whether it defines you or refines you. Each of these moments is a choice, and each choice is a reflection of what you truly believe about yourself and the world around you. Science even supports this. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize and adapt, shows that your thoughts literally rewire your neural pathways. When you cultivate belief in your potential and consistently reinforce positive perspectives, your brain begins to operate in ways that support resilience, creativity, and problem solving. The way you think becomes the way you act becomes your habits, and your habits become the architecture of your life. In essence, your mind is both the blueprint and the builder. Yet, the most powerful aspect of mindset is not just its effect on you eat, is its effect on your trajectory over time. When you adopt a mindset that embraces growth, every small action compounds. You begin to see patterns, notice opportunities, and respond with confidence rather than fear. You stop waiting for permission and you start creating your own path. It's a quiet, persistent force that shapes destiny more than luck, more than circumstance, more than raw talent. So as you reflect on this, consider the questions. What are you telling yourself in those quiet moments? Are your thoughts your allies or your obstacles? Are you reinforcing the belief that you are capable, or are you unconsciously feeding doubt? The answers are profound because they shape not only what you do, but who you become. Ultimately, success is not just about external achievement, it is about internal alignment. When you cultivate a mindset that recognizes the power of your thoughts, that sees challenges as opportunities, and that trusts your capacity to grow, you build a foundation that no setback can shake. You equip yourself not only to achieve, but to thrive. And the moment you internalize this truth, you understand that reality is not something that happens to you, it is something you actively shape with your belief, your mindset, and your courage to act. So take this with you. Your thoughts are not incidental, they are intentional. Choose them wisely, nurture them consciously, and let them guide you toward the life you are capable of living. Because when your mindset aligns with your belief, there is no limit to what you can achieve. That belief and mindset are powerful, but even the strongest conviction means very little if it isn't paired with action. It is in action that belief is tested, refined, and transformed into reality. Many of us spend so much time cultivating confidence, dreaming, or planning that we forget the simplest, most crucial truth. Nothing changes until you move. Action is the bridge between potential and achievement, the proof that what we believe can manifest in the world. Without it, even the deepest self-belief remains an untested promise. Think of it like a muscle. Your mind can envision strength and your heart can feel courage, but if you never lift the weight, you will not develop power. Action strengthens belief just as belief inspires action. The two are inseparable. Each step you take, no matter how small, validates your inner voice. It tells your mind, your body, and your environment that you are committed, that you trust yourself enough to engage with the unknown. And this engagement, over time, builds momentum, confidence, and undeniable evidence of your capability. Philosophers and psychologists have long emphasized this principle. Aristotle argued that we become virtuous by doing virtuous acts, not by thinking about virtue. In the same way, we become capable, confident, and successful by acting on our beliefs, not merely holding them in thought. Every choice to try, every decision to persist, despite uncertainty, creates a feedback loop. Belief informs action, action reinforces belief, and over time, that cycle shapes character, competence, and ultimately, destiny. This is why so many people with potential never realize it. They wait for perfect circumstances, for a clear sign, for the right time. But the truth is, the right time rarely comes. Waiting allows doubt to creep in and optimism to fade. Action, even imperfect action, breaks that cycle. It tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are serious about your own life. It is through movement, through doing, that you internalize the reality of your power. Action is also where resilience is forged. Belief can inspire you to begin, but it is action that sustains you when failure arrives. Every setback becomes a lesson when you are actively engaged. You learn faster, adapt smarter, and develop a confidence that is not theoretical but tested in the crucible of experience. Courage grows in increments through repeated practice, and each choice to act despite fear becomes proof that you are capable of more than you once imagined. There is another dimension to action. It communicates your intentions to the world. Ideas alone are invisible, thoughts alone are silent. When you act, you create ripples that others can see, that opportunities can respond to. Networking, learning, creating, innovating, these are all forms of action that signal to life that you are ready, willing, and capable. Action transforms abstract belief into concrete impact. It turns internal potential into external reality. But action doesn't have to be monumental. Often it is the small, consistent steps, the quiet discipline of showing up day after day that lead to extraordinary outcomes. A single committed decision may not seem significant, but repeated, it compounds. Momentum builds, and suddenly what once felt impossible becomes inevitable. This is the secret of those who achieve lasting success. They do not wait for inspiration, they cultivate it through disciplined, persistent action. Psychologically, action also reinforces identity. Every step you take strengthens the message you send to yourself. I am someone who follows through. I am someone who takes responsibility. I am someone who makes things happen. And the more you embody that identity, the more naturally your actions align with your highest aspirations. Belief becomes reality not because you imagine it, but because you live it step by step, decision by decision. So as we draw this together, remember this: believing in yourself is essential, cultivating the right mindset is transformative, but action is what completes the journey. Action is the engine that converts your internal conviction into measurable, tangible outcomes. Without it, even the deepest self-trust and most disciplined mindset remain potential, not achievement. Every small act matters. Every step counts. Begin where you are, with what you have, and take one deliberate action today. The power to shape your life resides not only in your thoughts, not only in your belief, but in the courage to act. And when you combine self-belief, a growth-oriented mindset, and persistent, courageous action, you will find that the impossible gradually becomes possible, and the life you imagine slowly but surely takes form. So act now, because the bridge between who you are and who you are capable of becoming exists only when you take that first step. Believe, think, and then do on. Let the world witness the power of a life fully lived.